Hi, Jan here again. Welcome back to my channel and for another What Bargains Did I Get This Week episode. First of all, I've got to say thank you so much to Suzanne, my box buddy, who keeps me, well, Neil and I supplied with these fabulous boxes that are, they also have an extra lining inside, so they are really strong and excellent for storing or indeed posting delicates in. So just went and got a bumper crop last night, so many thanks, Suzanne. That really does help us out a lot. Then if you've seen my past videos, you'll know that I had a massive teapot, what's the word I'm looking for, teapot, a tea shop had closed down and I got a load of teapots from them. But when I got them, some of them should have had the infuser inside, which is one of these that sits inside the pot. You put the tea in that bit and then you just lift all the leaves out quite easily, and some of them were missing these. So I said to the lady, do you still have these? And she didn't have them all, unfortunately, but she did have 4. And she said, and I've also got a load of tea strainers, would you like those as well? So I ended up getting a whole box of cafe tea strainers. Most of them are just very ordinary standard little tea strainers like this, but they've also got the little dish that you sit it in, and I think there are 5 of these rather pretty ones with their dishes as well. They need a bit of a clean because with, if I can show you on the infuser, as soon as you put tea in them, they're just going to stain and start looking a bit grim. But an old toothbrush and bicarbonate of soda, or sodium bicarbonate, or in the States I think it's I think you call it baking powder or baking soda. It's not in England. Baking powder has corn flour added to it, so don't use that, you just get a cloggy mess. But sodium bicarbonate, give it a good scrub and it will come up like brand new. So I've managed to get 4 of those for the bigger teapots. But when I was going over to pick them up, she said I've also got some half dozen more small teapots, so I've got those as well. There's 2 which are the farmhouse filter teapot in, believe it or not, that's a 2-cup size. 2 unfortunately don't have a lid. As you can see, I've put my own labels on already saying what brand they are, what colour they are, what size they are, just for my own, when I come to deal with it, because now I've got so many different teapots, I need to put an aid memoir, as it were, actually on the item. So 2 didn't have lids. I doubt if they've got any value on their own, and I'm standing up today because I've put all the stuff on this table from this week and there's nowhere else to put it, so I'm kind of moving about. I hope that's all right with you, and here's hoping I don't fall over. My balance isn't good, so if I suddenly hit the deck, I don't edit either, so you're being for a laugh. I had 2 with contrasting colour lids. Now I don't know if they were actually sold with the blue lid and the, or if they're replacement lids or something, but I think they're rather charming with the blue lid. So, and I've had to face the camera this way, so I'm really hoping that you're going to be able to see me all right. It looks all right from where I'm stood, I think, but it just looks a bit bleached out in the garden because it's beautifully sunny out there today. Hope for the best. So that's half a dozen little teapots, 5 of the London Pottery farmhouse filter, and 1 that's a Price and Kensington little, I'm not sure if they call it aqua the colour, or That one might be mint. I'm not entirely sure. I've looked on the colour charts of people selling them from new, and I think that might be the mint, but I'm not 100% certain. But once they're all cleaned out, and you're not going to be able to see in there, I did bring a torch so that I could shine inside the pot and show you, but I've put it down now. Oh, here it is. Here is the torch. Now I don't know if I'm going to be able to... Don't know how well you're going to be able to see that, but that's beautifully clean inside. So that one's all good to go. I feel as though I'm getting closer to actually opening an eBay store. I haven't done it yet, but it looks as though it's on its way. But anyway, they were the teapot. I'm so sorry. I actually slept in for 2 hours this morning, and it's not actually done me any favours. I'm even more muddled than I was anyway. Yeah, from the coffee shop pickup. Then to the Bootsales, starting from cheap and going up in value. On the way out, there was a lady with a tarpaulin on the floor, and she said everything on the mat is completely free. Neil managed to pick up a long lady's cardigan and a pair of men's shorts, which hopefully fit him because they're really nice shorts. And I didn't, this was just like that on the mat, and I just loved the colour. And so I said, I was over to the side having a rest because I was exhausted, so I was using my wheelie walker to full advantage and sitting down. And I said, can you just pick me up the purple? Thinking it might be a dressing gown. If it's a dressing gown, it can probably go in the dog bed, but it turned out to be a fleece. A rather nice fleece, actually. It's a double-sided one. So I suppose about 6 foot by 4 foot or something. So beautiful colour, but even if it's used as a backdrop for photographs, that'd be lovely. So I'm rather pleased with that one. So that was a freebie. Then another everything on the mat 50p. I found this big bag of K-pop. Now I'm not planning to actually make anything that needs stuffing. I'm not making toys or anything like that. But this is so soft and fluffy. I thought if I'm posting out anything very, very delicate like a figurine, use that for packing, and that would be, and for 50p, thought that would be very, very good. So I've got a big bag of K-pop. Then more 50p stuff. Just moving things out of the way. A Pyrex jug. That's why I'm doing it stood up today, because once I've moved things I've got nowhere to put anything. And a 50p Christmas mug. It's fine porcelain and just very Christmassy. That was on the 50p stall. Lovely condition, no chips or anything. So picked that one up. Oh, I missed out something. I went from the free stuff to the 50p stuff and completely missed out my 10p teapot. I wasn't going to get any more brown, but this one is pristine, so that, as far as I know, dates it to the latter part of last century, 1980s, 90s, somewhere around then. And this was on the 10p mat. Now this hasn't had the treatment yet, so I don't know how much you'll be able to see in there. It's kind of a bit grim, but for 10p it doesn't really matter if you can't do anything with it. But there's no chips or problems with it, so I thought, well, 10p, we'll take that every day of the week. that's now got to go off and be processed. And when I say processed, that goes through my cleaning process and then my labelling process. So more 50p things. I wanted to get some really strong boxes, kind of the right size for teapot delivery. So I was thinking about buying some exactly the right size. Let me just try and fold this up to show you. And obviously those top bits fold in. And knowing how much these boxes can cost, saw a lady had a big pile of these for 50p each. And I thought, well, I was going to buy some anyway. Even though I've got the big ones that Suzanne gives me, that would be perfect size just for a single teapot. I would use some of that cardboard to completely line it again, and then it should be really safe to post. And at 50p each, I said, well, I'll take 20 of them. And then she said that she sometimes gets more, so she's taken my name and number, so if she gets some more, she'll let me know. So I now have a supply of free boxes and cheap boxes, so you can't go wrong at that. So like I say, there's a pile of 20 of those. Then I've been looking for, I bought all those Jamie Oliver cookbooks months ago now, but the one that I was actually looking for was Ministry of Food, which somebody had recommended to me, and it's the first time I've seen it. All through the summer I've been looking for it. It's the first time I've seen it. Got that for £1. I just wanted it to have a quick look through, and then I'll sell it on or give it away. I don't particularly want to keep it, you know. I've not got a coffee table that needs propping up or anything, but so it was double the price that I was paying earlier in the year for the Jamie O books, but that's okay. I seem to be racing through it all this morning. What sort of time have we got on the clock? Because normally it just cuts off and I don't even notice it running out of time. And even with my glasses on, I still can't see it properly, but I think we're all right. Anyway, came across one of our subscribers, Glenn. Hi Glenn, if you're watching this channel. And on his stall he had a camera bag, which camera bags do tend to go quite well, so I thought even if it's not me using it, I'll give it to Neil for his stock. It's not a named one, but it's lovely and clean inside. Got the movable bit, got netting pockets there, nice long shoulder strap, and it's a very practical size if you're taking out a lot of kit with you. And I got that one for £3. So thank you very much, Glenn. I wasn't going to pick up any teapots because I've got so many, unless they really appealed to me for some reason. You know, there's an awful lot of ones there with like the gilding around the top, and I really don't like that, so I don't pick those up. For some reason I seem to be fixated on the round Betty shaped teapots, so if it's a new colour or a lovely pattern, then I'll go for one of those. And I saw this one. I'm not in love with the colour, but I've not seen this colour before, and this one is C&M, which is, I can't remember, that's again the end of last century. I can't remember what that stands for. I did look it up. I think it's some Yorkshire company, but this one is another. I need the torch to show you. Completely minging. I don't think I'm doing that very well at all, but if you manage to see any of it, it's grim. But again, it's got no chips, no crazing or anything. It's in really lovely condition. vintage. It's got the nice C&M shaped handle, lovely Betty shape. It's a good shape, it's good size for family. I think that's about a 6 cup. And so picked that up for £1. And eventually one day, either I or somebody who inherits everything from me will be able to sell them. They're good quality pieces. Oh, that one was one from the coffee shop, so that should be in the other box, but never mind. I'm going to have to juggle teapots when I finish doing this. This one again was £1, and this one is pristine again. So again, end of last century, 1980s-ish. And this is made in Staffordshire. That's already been through my process, so it's spotless, lovely and clean. Really nice teapot, lovely colour blue, and that was £1. Then I came across a spotty pot. Again, it's already been through the process, although no, I did clean this one, that's right, that needed a clean, so that one did have a clean. That one was £1. This one was spotless when I bought it, so all I've done with this one is wash it up normally and get this spout brush to give the spout a really good clean. And this one just says Provence, oven to tableware, made in the UK. So that looks as though it's part of a whole dinner service, possibly. I can feel myself swaying now, so I don't want to go down and kill the dog with a teapot. I've got, what dogs have I got? I've got Echo laying on the floor there. I've got Bear laying on the floor there. I think Chester's gone to bed. Sometimes he just goes and puts himself to bed if he's bored. They've been busy chasing a pigeon all morning. We've got a pigeon that started tormenting. Bear doesn't take much notice of it, but Chester and Echo chase it all around. They go from one side of the garden to the other. He sits on the lamppost at the back. He flies into next door's tree. He goes on that side's roof, and the dogs just run. And poor little Echo, she ends up looking and like, where's he gone? Where's he gone? Yeah, so that one was £1.50, and we're almost done for teapots except for another £1.50. This one still got its label on. It's Price and Kensington, and it's the first one I've ever picked up in the matte finish, which actually feels quite smooth to the touch, but is a matte finish. It's like emulsion on the walls. You either get silk or matte, and this is one of the matte ones. It was up for £2.50. I thought, I'm not paying that for it, but I said, would you take £1.50? And he said, yeah. So another little teapot. So now I've got, I think, 7 Price and Kensington in this size, all different colours. There may be another 1 or 2 out in the shed. As I say, I'm moving ever closer towards opening an eBay store. I'm holding back at the moment because of my health. I don't really want to get into doing something that then requires commitment, like keeping your accounts for the tax man, all this sort of thing. At the moment, I'm mainly selling things that belong to me or my parents or my first husband, so it's not a huge amount. And I don't want to have to start declaring too much to people that require books done by certain dates and things in case I can't. So I'm building up to it, but not quite ready yet. Right, we've talked about the spotty teapot, so that can go in the box, ready to move. I'm so glad that Suzanne had some boxes for us yesterday. getting quite short, and I should have made up a couple more for the next couple of items. I'm actually doing really well time-wise. I found this rather lovely, a very, very heavy laying down cow or bull. I mean, when they're laying down, how do you tell what they are? But cow or bull, made out of, I think it might be resin, but just appealed to me, so I got that for me. And then, even though, oh, I'm going to need to sit down in a minute, even though I had said no more cookie jars because of what I call real estate. What I mean by that is the amount of space that they take, because they take a huge amount of space for storage. But then this one has been on the same stall week after week after week, and I knew that the guy wanted about £3 because Neil had asked in the past, and so I said, how much for your teddy? And he stuck with his £3. This one is the first one I think I've come across so far that is actually, that's the head obviously comes off, it's got the rubber seal around it, so that will give so you can actually keep biscuits in this one. And this one is Rayware. So it's the first one that I found that's actually by a decent company. And I think the difference is that because this needs a good wash, when I wash it, I don't think any of the paint's going to start fading or come off. But it's got a little bit of age crazing, but it's not chipped or damaged in any way at all. And I've seen these go on eBay for quite a good amount of money. So if and when I list him, I'm going to put him up for probably about £35–40. The reason that I first started picking up cookie jars was we'd gone to a charity shop, and there had been a cookie jar in the charity shop for £38, and then we had to go back to the same shop 2 days later, and it had been sold. And I thought, well, if people are willing to pay that sort of money, if I can pick them up at a reasonable enough price, and generally I've never been above £3 on a cookie jar. That is one of the most expensive that I've bought, but normally they're 1 or 2. So that one was £3. And then I thought, well, now I've broken no more cookie jars, might as well pick this one up. This one was £2. A rather delightful little duck. Can't find any the same as that on eBay, either up for sale now or sold. It's got no seal on it, but that doesn't seem to stop people buying them. I always put them up as for, you know, sweets, storage, you know, whatever. Looks like somebody, I had this with one the other week, where I don't know if that's I think somebody has at some point tried to stick some sort of felt onto the bottom, and at a later date somebody's tried to take it all off, and that's just a staining from the felt. But anyway, I'll give it a good clean. But because this is one of the ones that I worry about the paint on, what I'll do is I'll get some neat washing up liquid and just give it a good massage with neat washing up liquid, probably with one of my big old makeup brushes, and give it a good old slosh around, make sure I get into all the nooks and crannies, and then just rinse it off rather than put it underneath the water and rub it with a cloth. But that one was another nice pick up. And then on to the really good stuff. Really good stuff, but very cheap. As soon as I saw this, I knew exactly what it was because I've already got one in the cabinet behind me. This is geese with a reed. and this is Neo by Yadro. So as I've said before, Neo and Yadro are the same company, but the Neo is the kind of the bottom end of the really good stuff. But even so, it's got some value, and for £1 you just can't go wrong. That will easily sell for 12 to 15 when I do get round to selling it. I'm also buying Yadro and Neo for my own collection, but I'm telling myself that I've now got to the stage where I've got to operate a one in, one out policy where if I get a new piece, then one of the old ones, I don't know if you can see there, if I angle, that's my china cabinet there, and the way that I run it is the top shelf are keepers. That's my own personal collection and that's what's staying. But anytime anything comes and wants to go on the keeper shelf, I've got to choose one of those to move down to the next shelf, which is stuff that will eventually be listed and sold. Otherwise I'll just end up with a cabinet full of it. So that's the system that I'm working at the moment. So I've already got one of the little geese in the top cabinet, so both sets of little in the top shelf. That one will come down, as will this one. At the boot sale, Neil came up to me and he said, there's a stall over there, something you might want to look at. It looks like Yadro, but he said it's not their normal type of thing. And indeed, it wasn't their normal type of thing. It was one of the Oriental girls, which he's not familiar with. But I saw instantly when I saw it, I could tell by the quality of work that that was a Yadro. So without even picking it up, I said to the lady, how much do you want for your little figurine? And she went, £150, and looked at me as if she was expecting me to say less. But even without picking it up, I thought, I know exactly what this is. Not that I'm familiar with this particular model, but I could tell that it's Yadro. If you can just look at the paintwork on the face, the flowers in the hair. So I paid my £1.50 and then very excitedly unwrapped it later on in the day to find that this is actually Yadro. This is one of their more expensive pieces, and the finer the detail, the higher they seem to go up in value. Now, unfortunately, this little lady used to have a metal flute, and in losing her flute, she's also lost some of her fingers. So her value has completely gone down because of that. But if she goes onto the top shelf, that makes no difference whatsoever. Eventually, when she moves down, I will just declare that she has got problems. One of the little flowers on the top has snapped, because when these are made, the sculptor makes the entire piece, and then when it's agreed that it will go into production, it's broken up into smaller pieces into what they call fractions. So then they're all made separately and then joined together at a later date. So the hand would be separate. Sometimes every finger is done separately. Every single petal on the flowers are done separately. The hair piece will be done separately. The head will be done separately. There is so much work involved in one of these pieces, and then when it's all completely made, it's all hand painted. The amount of work that goes into these is what commands the value. And this piece, if it were in perfect condition, would be worth well over £125, even nudging up to the £200. It's quite a rare piece. It's discontinued and quite rare, so I'm happy to pay £1.50 even though it's a little bit damaged. It's still a nice little addition to my collection for the moment, and she's got her big bow from the kimono at the back. And it was also fabulous that Neil was able to pick out the colour. He was looking at the fact that the colours are the muted Valencia style colouring, but he wasn't sure that, he didn't know that they'd actually done the Oriental series. But it's nice that he's also got his eye in. But as I say, if you can look at the paintwork on the face there, And with Yadra and Neo, the colour of the eyebrows and the eyes tend to be a softer colour, whereas some of the cheaper brands do a very black line. Even if it's very finely painted, it's very black, which you don't seem to get with the